think it
Siobhan.
is Saban.
Well, the
Sorry,
only way
I'm the worst pronouncer ever.
to know that that's Siobhan is to have known a Siobhan.
It is, yeah. You're not going to pick that up from just reading it, unfortunately.
So I've known a Siobhan Vudrov before. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Vudrov. Is that how you pronounce?
Yeah, that's the hard part of my name is my last name.
This wall behind you is so much more interesting than the last interview. It was just a blue square.
Yeah, but his blue square had fades on it. That there had been pictures up there, but he removed them. So I'm curious as to what was behind him that was that needed to come down before the Zoom apocalypse. You know,
we've got a sconce here. Is that a wall sconce?
I got not one sconce but two. Often they come in pairs.
You're veritably ensconced.
You know how often I get to say the word sconce? Pretty much never.
Once a week. No, never. That doesn't come up.
Yeah.
Unless you're in the sconce business, of course.
Then all you talk is sconce.
I'm in the resconce business. I take old sconces and I resconce
them. Resconce them.
Yeah.
Someone's got to do that.
When they've lost their sconce.
Sure, yeah. Over time they will.
Yeah. They just flatten out.
High quality interview right here.
No, I'm glad it started like this. This is good. I don't even know what we're going to talk about now.
Where are you, Siobhan?
I'm in Hamilton.
Oh yeah,
nice.
I was in Hamilton 2 days ago.
How was it?
Driving into Hamilton is like driving. It's like driving into the Axis chemical factory from Batman 1.
I wish I understood that reference more so I could be like react appropriately, but I don't.
Well, some of your listeners may know what I'm talking about. It's just it's an industrial. It's like a painting of the Industrial Revolution, but it's like an animated GIF of it. It's really impressive.
My very first guitar amp was from Hamilton. That was like the first time I ever drove to Hamilton. I went to some consignment music store that was right in the midst of all the factory stuff. Mm-hmm. I bought this PV guitar head there. I
never came back.
I wish I still had it. It was 3 channels, sounded really good. And I'm gonna have to I'm getting a tattoo removed, and the dude's in Hamilton, so I'm gonna have to be out there once a month for a while.
Well, I've no doubt I'll run into you on the street. The odds are just also really in our favor.
The very last show that I went to before the pandemic was at that old, what is that bar that just closed down in Hamilton, the stage at the end?
So you're probably talking about This Ain't Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, bummer. It sucks. That sucks that place closed down.
And when I was in there, that's when I realized that's where that hunting show that was on CHCH when I was a kid was filmed in the back of that bar. And I walked in and I'm like, wait a second, I thought that was some guy's living room, but it was like this when I was a kid on channel 11.
Jesse, let Siobhan ask a question.
Don't have an interview after this.
No, I was going to open with that question. Have you been to This Ain't Hollywood, and do you remember it from that show from your childhood? So this is fine for me.
I had a great time at that bar. And I have a t-shirt from the barbecue place down the street from there.
Let the professional ask a question for crying out.
No. Okay, so Sconces. I'll give you my like that was look, he's left now. You've upset him. Now what am I gonna do?
It's not the first time.
Today.
Quick,
is that what we're dealing with?
I'll give you an answer.
Okay, well, I'm actually here to just work as like a marriage counselor. This is a bit of a therapy session. We didn't mean to drop it on you guys like this, but here we are.
That's it. We're broken up again. You did it. Sorry, Siobhan.
Man. Okay, well, you heard it here first. I feel like I got an exclusive.
Yeah, Hammer takes the full blame for that.
Yeah. Oh, is this a wardrobe change?
Yeah, this shirt is from Hamilton.
There we go. This is like a share level wardrobe change midway through the set. Thank you for doing that.
Share. Finally the comparison comes through.
Yeah, he's got the sensibilities of Cher and the exact look of Sonny Bono.
Yeah, if I could turn back time, I would.
If you could find a way,
let my hair grow all the way down.
I know we did get a message in the chat, although this has definitely been one of my favorite interview opens in maybe ever. So that's been great for me. But
well,
if I don't get some sort of audio, I'm surely will be in trouble from someone.
Yeah.
So I got to crack the whip, as they say.
Whip it good.
Hello.
Hi.
We can start with Devo. We can talk about Devo instead of the new album.
Yeah.
Sure.
Guys, come on. What did I say?
I was going to go right into it.
There's so much to talk about with Devo.
I know there's a lot. I noticed you guys aren't very like a hat based band. What's with that?
Should I go?
We should wear more hats.
I mean, if you're into it.
I'm wearing a hat now because it's a bit of a hat day, but
it feels like a coincidence rather than like a true artistic choice, though. I don't want to read into that. But
a friend of mine, Nick Thorburn from a band called Islands or the Unicorns,
yes.
He says that hats have no place on a rock and roll stage. He refuses to even
tell that to Stevie Ray Vaughan, because that man really wore a hat.
Yeah, SRV. You know what? Some people's hats you don't. It's like little Stevie from Bruce Springsteen's band.
You don't think so? It's no good.
Let's keep the hat on.
What about
let's keep it on? Let's keep it on, little Stevie.
Angus from AC/DC, his little like schoolboy hat.
Yeah,
a little teeny brim. Yeah, it's a good one.
Listen,
too short of a brim.
It's not my philosophy.
Okay, I need one question because we're definitely gonna get wrapped out of this. I'm gonna be in trouble.
Keep going.
Okay, I'm gonna scrap literally all of the things I was gonna ask.
This was great.
And go.
Are you not recording this?
Oh, I've been recording.
Okay, good.
Right? Yeah, stop recording.
Bold. We're loose now. We're comfortable.
I know. I feel a little loose myself. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I'm being completely serious, I was, a little nervous coming into this because I'm stoked. I was a little drunk coming into this. Was it the best choice? Hard to say, but we're having a good time.
The joys of working from home.
Yeah, truly. I know. It's amazing, honestly. Okay, hold on.
Yes.
So pretend I asked you a bunch of stuff. The point is, the last question that I have for you is, I was going to say, hey, what is the next single? However, I do follow you guys on Instagram, and it was very easy to do a little bit of sleuthing. I've noticed that you've put together what are basically infomercials, which have phone numbers. Yeah. The phone number that I decided to call.
Yeah.
And then I heard track 6, Totally Wiped Out.
Yeah.
And I thought, surely you don't just have Jordan Bliley on your record and not release that as a single. Can you confirm or deny that will be the next single?
If singles were chosen by my 9-year-old, then that would have been the only song that was released from the whole album. It's her favorite one. As far as she refers to the album as the record with Totally Wiped Out on it. That's what she calls the whole album.
Sure.
We don't have a serious answer to that. I don't know if it is the single. I don't think it is. I think that the label will probably pick something else. But the whole record comes out in 2 days. So who needs a single?
Yeah, that's kind of the other thing. I mean, you guys dropped 1+1 and then immediately played you guys immediately put out the whole thing, which isn't very traditional either.
Well, we're not a traditional band, Siobhan.
How traditional was this interview?
Not very at all.
Unusable.
But I loved it. I had a good time.
So are we really not going to talk about Devo?
We can absolutely talk about Devo. How has Devo impacted at least this album?
Devo had a pretty big impact on this band. Actually, when we were broken up, one of the only times I saw Jesse out in the wild was at a Devo show when Devo came through and played Are We Not Men? And what other record they play, Jesse?
Duty Not for the Future.
Duty Not for the,
in its entirety.
And the cool thing about Devo, which doesn't apply to us, is that Devo never looked cool. Like they looked cool as a concept, but they were always kind of like nerdy weirdos. So watching them play old, it wasn't that bad. They're kind of a little bit thick. They're kind of a bit of a BBW band now, but they're still like weirdos. So it didn't affect you're not affected by, it's like when you go see a band that used to be young and gorgeous and they're now old and crotchety, you know. You don't have that experience with Devo. You're gonna have that experience with us, because we were, I mean, I was a twink when we started this band, just a gorgeous hairless.
And you guys always play blouse open too, so I think no doubt if you're going to continue that, it's going to be tough.
I did play with my shirt off for many years, but it was because I only had a limited amount of clothing on tour, and I didn't want my shirt to get wet as well as my pants.
That's reasonable.
Yeah,
that's very reasonable. Well, at least I can use that.
The first time. Yeah, see, it's great. The first time Devo ever played in Canada, my uncle at the time owned the Horseshoe and he booked them. And my mom was 8 months pregnant with me and went to go see them. And my mom is only like 5'1", and I was a big baby and a big human now, but like, you know, she was huge. And apparently she was sitting at a table watching them play, and some guy was trying to like kind of hit on her from across the room, and at one point she just stood up during the show and just bared her belly at this guy like, what the hell do you want?
Yeah, you want to take care of all this?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he was looking for. He was far more lonely than she even anticipated. He's like, I'm actually looking for a family.
Yeah, this one's ready to go.
Yeah, this one's already cooked. Feels like it's going to work out for me.
Well, like in the video for 1+1, there's a donkey in the video. That donkey was given to my neighbor by someone else, because donkeys are like security guards on farms. That donkey has actually killed 6 coyotes. She's a very accomplished security guard. So somebody gave him that donkey, and in the video, who he didn't know, she was pregnant. And I got a call not long after the video saying, hey, I looked out in the field and I saw 4 more legs under that donkey. And there was another one. And I went.
It's the cutest thing you've ever seen. Yeah. A baby donkey is the cutest thing you've ever seen.
It like really plays, just jumps around. Her name is Buttercup.
Oh, and, that's adorable.
You know, but that was a 2-for-1 donkey there. So yeah, it's a thing that happens.
That was a 2-for-1 pregnancy story in an interview that I didn't expect that from.
Well, the single is called 1+1, so
equals 3. Yes.
Look at this full circle. You didn't expect that, huh?
Yeah. Woo! The command of it all. But can you please tell me about 1+1? I understand it's a bit of a sequel, like, you know, to Romantic Rights in a way.
Yeah, I mean, Romantic Rights makes the claim that I don't need you, I want you. And 1+1 makes the truth that I need you, I can't control it. Because after a certain point, to imagine that you would be the same or a better person without your partner you've been with for 15 or 16 years, it's like, no, I would regress dramatically. So yeah, this song was, the writing and recording and mixing and the whole thing, it tracks the baby's conception and development and then birth. And so it's the story of me and Eva having a kid together after so many years. It's just, that's what the story is. So and in real time, you know, it happened in real time, which is strange. but the record and the baby happened in the same time frame, that 9 months. Yeah.
I mean, it's so good. Actually, truthfully, I got a stream of the record today, and I just listened to it 3 times in a row.
Cool.
Like, it ended and I put it on again. It ended and I put it on again. And it's so good. And it's so like noisy in the way that you want it to be. You want to dance, you want to punch a hole in the wall. It ticks a lot of boxes for me. You know? Those are the things that I want to experience in the album.
That was 3 things. It was dancing and punching a hole in the wall, and I forget what the third one was. But those are all your boxes.
Those are the main ones. Yeah.
Don't forget
Is that not good?
Sconces.
Oh, and of course my sconces. Yeah. I did. I hung new sconces while listening to the album, so I felt like that was good.
They're all crooked now.
Yes.
Well,
I think I got a message saying that we have to wrap up.
Really?
Can I say one more thing about sconces?
Please, I would prefer that you did.
When the very first time that Jesse and I played, we met and talked about maybe doing something together. And he invited me to his parents' house to play music with him. And he had this idea to get a guitar and tune it all the way down to B, which if you have any guitar, it's a very low frequency. And we got down into his basement and he had his guitar tuned all the way down. He had these massive amps, these huge amps. And he started playing this guitar and it was the loudest thing I'd ever heard, aside from when I saw New Kids on the Block when I was a child, and the sound of 50,000 girls screaming. That was the only thing that was louder. But his guitar sound was so loud and he kept telling me to hit harder. He was like, hit harder. Hit harder. I was playing the drums, like harder, harder. And when we got upstairs, all of the stuff on the wall in his mom's dining room had fallen off the walls.
So surely that was hard enough.
It was hard enough, yeah. But she was cool with it, surprisingly. She's like, that's how insane Jesse is, that his mom's just like, yep.
I mean, also Jesse's mom sounds very cool, as she was 8 months pregnant and going to see Devo. So like, it seems like she was hip to it anyways, man.
Well, I come from a loud family with a lot of loud people. When I was a little child, we lived in a house with Alice Cooper's band. So like it was.
Some of them are Canadian.
Prakash, John, yeah.
Prakash, I have a connection to that guy.
Really? Well,
we
lived in the same house. I lived in his house.
In Oakville?
No, he lives out there now, but this was in Toronto.
Okay. I didn't need to get too personal there.
Well,
for a second,
no, in terms of like, just how many Indian rock and roll people are there in Toronto? In the early 70s.
Shazad from Grays.
I said in the early 70s. I don't know if he was.
To break out a scroll. Very
but it was, it was a short list and everyone kept close together, I guess. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
that's wild.
Loud always. There was always, all but one house I lived in always had a drum kit in the basement. Like there was, amps everywhere all the time. I had like, even now I still have like prototype trainer amps that my dad had in my basement. There was just always speakers and volume and.
So as a parent, are you the same way though? Do you encourage your 9-year-old to hang out and play the drums?
I have video footage of one of my kids still just wearing a diaper, playing a 808 through a distortion pedal into a guitar amp.
It's amazing.
Someday she will appreciate how incredible that is. And like,
as a sentence, that's incredible, actually.
But anytime that they would make any sound, I would record it, because no one, the capacity to do that when I was little wasn't there.
Yeah.
There's a photo of me that I've seen sitting in front of drums when I was 3, but I don't visually remember. I don't have like that.
I mean, the point is, if you have any audio recording of that, it's like that much more in depth than like a photo album that we would have had when we were kids. I mean, that's a very, very cool thing to do. So maybe
it's for the best that doesn't exist, because sometimes you ever see a photo of yourself when you're a teenager and you thought you were pretty cool looking, and then you see that photo now and you're like, oh,
it's upsetting.
I hope no one ever sees this ever again.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I feel very fortunate that I didn't have Facebook in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, what a hell it must be.
No, thank you. Dudes, thank you so much for your time. This was hilarious. I learned something. I've thought about my sconces in a way that I haven't thought about in a really long time. And I'm inspired to go listen to Devo. I mean, what more could you ask for?
All good things.
These are all great things.
Great time.
Yeah, I loved it. Well, listen, you're getting a laser tattoo removal session in Hamilton. You never know. If you see me on the street, just say hi.
Okay. Is this interview done?
Yeah. Well, we were told to wrap up.
about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, with an exclamation point if you see it in the chat. So I could keep talking to you guys, but I want to be respectful to Allie.
Well, isn't there some other club in Hamilton that looks like a living room? And it's just like this small room with the furniture. It's like a low ceiling, and I think it's on a second floor.
Maybe the Doors. The Doors is supposed to be like the heavy metal bar. I'm not going to lie to you. I've only lived in Hamilton for about 3 years. I'm a bit of an implant here, so I don't know things that would have existed prior to me living here as well. I'm really from Toronto, but I think you'd be thinking of the Doors.
Maybe.
Let's break on through to the other side of this interview.
It was so nice to talk to you guys. I had sincerely had a blast.
Thank you, Siobhan. Thanks so much.
Have a good day.
Okay, see ya.